Hello everyone, it's me, Maya, and welcome to my channel. So the Tony Awards was last night, and you know that if I do one video, it has to be a Tony Awards recap, so that's what we're doing today. So every year for the last 3 years, this is the third year, I have been recapping my favorite moments from the Tony Awards, and this today will be no different. So let's get started. So first, let me get my notes. So this Tony Awards was no different as far as how great it was. Josh Groban and Sarah Bareilles were the hosts, and they started off with the number of "Here's to the Losers" because apparently they've never won any awards, like any Emmys, Tonys, or whatever, and that's like, really? So it was interesting that they started off with kind of like, this is for the losers because 90% of you guys are not going to win. So, and another part that I liked were all the pretty outfits because Kerry Washington had this really nice, like, low-cut, shiny number, and everybody had really shiny dresses, and a lot of the different dresses were really cool too. And they're a little later in the show, Sarah and Josh were like, you may know us from your CD track marked emotional songs. And I thought that was so funny because both of them do have a lot of emotional music. Okay. I was like, what is that? I thought a really good theme of the Tonys this year was acceptance, and I noticed that a lot of the people that won were of the minority. So you have a lot of people from the LGBT community, and some of the plays that won had LGBT themes, fitting that it's Gay Pride Month. And then you also have people who are Hispanic and Middle Eastern and people of color, black, white, gray, orange, like people from every walk of life are represented in this community. And I noticed last year, because I was looking at some of the notes of like how one of the things that I pointed out was like how supportive the community is. And that hasn't changed, because when someone wins, you don't see, and that's probably because they've been trained to change their emotions, but you don't see anyone's like really upset. Like anytime anyone wins, the other nominees look genuinely excited for them. So like when one person wins, everyone wins. So with the accepting their personality or the ethnicity portion of who you are, and there was the woman who won Best Featured Actress in a Musical. That was Lindsay Mendez, and she was talking about how she was told to change her name to Matthews or she wouldn't get any work. And I'm glad that she didn't, because you have so many kids that are watching her that have the same name, and they're like, if she can get there, then so can I. And then the guy who won Featured Actor in a Musical, Ariel Satchel from The Band's Visit, he was also talking about how he never was really good at accepting his ethnicity as, I want to say, Arab. I'm not totally sure. Especially after 9/11, it was so hard for him to accept who he was. And as a result, he missed out on a lot of events with his family. And his parents were there, and he was almost apologizing for what he missed out on, and how he was proud now that as someone from the Middle East, he was able to accept his culture and sort of see his culture represented in this Tony Award winning musical, which I thought was so fitting, especially in this time when so many people don't get to be who they want to be. I lost my space. So next we have the SpongeBob SquarePants musical. I really liked that performance. I can understand why it totally didn't win, because if you didn't if you didn't grow up on SpongeBob, you really had no reason to really love it. But again, I haven't seen any of the musicals. I usually don't wait to stream any musicals until after the Tonys, so I can kind of listen to the performances and see which ones I like the best. So, but again, it's like Squidward's voice. He did good, but it's like I can see how that would be a little grating for like a theater critic or people who are really fancy with this. I really, really loved Carousel's performance. They won Justin Peck won for Best Choreography, and I can definitely tell because the dancing wasn't, it was, you can see it's a lot of spinning, but it's very creatively done, so he definitely earned the choreography award for that. Next, so, and I'm like, without fail, the Tony Awards always manages to make me cry. Weep actual tears. So, earlier this year, there was the school shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and the drama teacher was awarded a education award for her work with the school, but also the fact that she was able to shield a lot of the children in the office for like 2 hours, and all of the children got out. And I'm like already like getting a little choked up because it was just a beautiful moment that we were able to highlight the good and what people were able to do. So they brought a lot of the drama department to the Tonys to do a performance. And of course, they ended up singing Seasons of Love. And that is the song. Like, it, as a theater person, as someone who's really loves the theater and all that it represents, that's the song that kind of starts it all. Because you know, like, even if they don't even need to get to the actual words to know what the song is, you just need to do, like, those first four or five notes, and you know what's about to happen. And the song itself is such a beautiful heart. Just, like, there's just no words for it. So you know when that song starts. It gets me every time. I bawl real tears because it was just so beautiful that they were able to use their heartache and pain and kind of put it towards the song, and kind of know that even after all that happened, they were still able to find beauty and art out of it. So it was a lot to watch, but I'm glad that they were able to be showcased. Next, they had a magic moment in honor of the Harry Potter play. And it was cute because Sarah Bareilles had her little wand and she did the little magic and the Incendio spell, and like 2 seconds later, that's when the thing fired up. And she was like, there's a little bit of delay, but it still worked. And then Josh Groban was like, I can do one better. So the little Death Eaters, Dementors, whatever they're called, they ended up surrounding him, and then he ended up being replaced with Jamie Parker, who was the actor of Harry Potter in the Harry Potter play. And it was so cool because I'm watching and I'm like, how did they do that? Because how? So I thought that was cool how they were able to. I love how you're able to stage a play and sort of incorporate a lot of magical moments. And it's still, like, theater is magic. And I thought that was way cool how they were able to do that. Once on This Island won for Best Revival of a Musical. And the music was so good because they ended up singing the song Mama Will Provide, and I'm like, okay, I gotta listen to this whole soundtrack because Alex Newell sang the song, and his voice is just like, he's hitting these notes and he's snatching all of these edges, and I'm loving every moment of it. So this is definitely, Once on This Island, I definitely want to look at streaming the whole musical. Like I said, I usually like to wait until after the Tony, so I have my list, like Once on This Island, Carousel maybe, Band's Visit definitely, SpongeBob definitely. So like I got my little list, and then I might this year I might have to like do a video of like my favorite cast albums, because I have a lot, obviously. Next, it's so Robert De Niro, if you don't know, is not the hugest fan of Trump. And he was brought into, I think he was brought in to present for the best revival of a play. I'm thinking that's what his job was. Don't actually remember. But as you're watching the telecast, he gets bleeped out. And you don't know what he's saying, because of course, like, they kind of pull away from him, and I'm sitting there, it's like, what did he say? What did he say? And then they pan to the audience, and the audience is cheering, but you don't know what he's saying. Then this morning I looked it up, and of course, he said things that are... He basically says, you know what, F Trump, it's no more down with Trump, it's F Trump. And he's just like, he's basically saying, I would be remiss if I didn't use my platform to tell you guys what I really feel. And it was just and I understand why they had to bleep him out, but it's like, keep that in. I heard that in Australia it wasn't censored out, so it's just like, Robbie, I love you so much. And then what I really appreciate, like I said before, is like what I appreciate about the Tonys every year watching is how much diversity there is. The best winners for featured actor, featured actress in a musical, and as well as the best actor, the best actress, the best featured actor, all were from the Band's Visit, and all of these people are of Middle Eastern, Arab, Lebanese descent. I just thought that was so great, that it's just like, this community is so welcoming and diverse, and I just love it so much, and I'm proud to be like a theater nerd. I used to do theater in school, but as far as like the music and Broadway, the artwork and the artistry and how it kind of transports you, I just love it so much. It was a really great, every year, I don't think I've ever been disappointed by the Tonys, and this year was no different. It's my favorite time of the year. It's so great. So they ended with their song of this. It's kind of a reprise of the song they sang at the beginning, but instead of "This One Is For the Losers," they say "This One Is For the Dreamers." Keep dreaming. This is it. And I just loved it. It was so great. If you watch the Tonys, let me know what your favorite moment was. My favorite, it was probably a tie between Robert De Niro and the Marjorie Stoneman performance, as well as Once on This Island's performance. I think Once on This Island probably is one of my favorite performances. Carousel too. Carousel was a favorite. So let me know what yours is in the comment section below. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you'd like more of these videos, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.